I used to work overnight at a gas station convenience store located along a quiet, seldom traveled stretch of highway. I say used to because after the incident a few months back, I've sworn off night shifts entirely. It was a small operation, the kind of place that barely sees any customers once it gets late. Most of my time was spent refilling shelves, cleaning surfaces, and occasionally ringing up a passing truck driver or a lone traveler. I can recall every detail like it happened yesterday. It was a little after 2:30 a.m. By that point, even the truck traffic had mostly disappeared, and I was left with practically nothing to do. I was absent-mindedly scrolling through my phone, just trying to pass the time. Eventually, I stepped outside for a breath of fresh air, rubbing my palms together to fend off the chill. I let out a few breaths, watching the vapor vanish into the cold. The lot was deserted, just the pumps, the road, and the pitch-dark tree line beyond. The neon sign buzzed and blinked overhead, and I remember how foggy it was out. You could actually see the dampness hanging in the air. Even though the highway wasn't far, it was eerily quiet out there. Just as I was about to head back inside, something flickered in my peripheral vision. I turned my head sharply and realized there was a man standing behind one of the fuel pumps. How had I missed him before? He had on a maroon hoodie with the hood pulled up, and both hands were buried in his pockets. There wasn't a vehicle anywhere nearby, so he clearly wasn't getting gas. What's more, he wasn't making his way toward the building either. He just stood there, angled slightly toward the store, as if watching me. At first I assumed he might be waiting on someone, but there was something off about the way he moved. He was sort of pacing in a loose circle. I went back inside, but kept an eye on him through the glass. I watched him out of the corner of my eye, pretending not to, hoping maybe someone would pull in to pick him up or something. But after a few minutes, he started walking toward the entrance, slowly at first, then suddenly shoving the door open like he'd made a snap decision. He approached the counter, but didn't speak immediately, just stared at me like he was trying to figure something out. Then, in a rushed and almost memorized tone, he said his car had broken down just before reaching the pumps, claimed he needed a jump or maybe just a bit of fuel to make it to the next town. I was honestly stunned. He wasn't even trying to make it sound believable. I couldn't believe he thought I'd fall for that lame excuse. I told him I could call a tow truck instead. No, no, he replied quickly, shaking his head. He just wanted a flashlight, or maybe some help looking under the hood. Something felt seriously wrong, I could tell that much. The way he talked, the way he watched my face, it felt like he was waiting to see how I'd respond. To be fair, though, you get all kinds coming into gas stations at that hour, and I started second-guessing myself. Maybe he really did need help and was just acting weird or high. I asked where his car was parked, and he said it was just past the highway entrance. I was still doubtful, but then he pointed to the monitor behind me. I turned to check the screen, and to my surprise, there actually was a vehicle sitting out there. I thought, oh man, maybe this guy's telling the truth. And that's when it clicked. I had literally just been outside, and I definitely would have noticed a car parked there. I looked again at the footage and saw a tiny bit of movement near the back end of the car. Someone was crouched just out of sight. A chill ran straight through me. I plastered on a fake smile and told the guy I'd be happy to help. but I just needed to grab my phone from the office first. I turned slowly, trying not to tip him off, but the second I was out of his view, I slammed my palm down on the emergency alarm beneath the counter. The siren blared immediately, piercing through the quiet store. I thought he might come at me, but what he did instead was even creepier. His anxious demeanor vanished. No more pretending to be in a rush, no more fidgeting. He completely relaxed. His posture shifted. Then he smiled. Not a nervous grin, not sheepish either. A slow, deliberate smirk, like he had all the time in the world, like he found it funny. I was frozen. I didn't even get the chance to physically stop him. In one smooth movement, he turned and sprinted out the door. I rushed to the monitor just in time to see both of them running, not toward the car, but straight into the woods behind the station. The vehicle remained parked, engine silent, headlights off, no one inside. When the police arrived, everything was exactly as I'd described. The car was still there, but whoever had been with it had vanished. No footprints leading away, no trace of anyone. Then one of the officers pointed something out, something I hadn't seen earlier. The front passenger door was wide open. There had been a third person in the car the entire time. The police took my report. I handed over the surveillance footage, and that was that. A few days later, they followed up. They'd towed the car and checked the plates. Turned out it had been reported stolen almost a week earlier, more than 100 miles from where we found it. No one came forward to claim it. No missing persons, no related incidents. Just an abandoned vehicle in the middle of nowhere with no explanation. That was months ago, and there's still nothing. I don't know why gas stations attract this kind of thing, but I can say without a doubt I'll never work another overnight shift again.